It is.
There's a suit. Miles gets a Wolverine suit. It's a very clearly a Wolverine suit.
Yes, it is.
He's the best at what he does. He's got the ears. Were there plans to do any other teaser stuff like that at any point? Was there ever any you talk about taking reference from the MCU. Was there ever thought of being like, oh, Logan's going to walk by in the post-credits scene?
We wouldn't be true Marvel fans if we didn't have discussions like that. But I think for us, it was, hey, let's, working on these games is really hard. They're really complicated. And I think it was just like, hey, let's let the Wolverine team cook. Let's let them cook. And if that something ever happens in the future, great. But right now, let's just make sure that let's not box anybody into a corner. And let's just make sure that they have a clear runway to make the best Wolverine game possible. And it's going to be awesome. So I'm really excited about it. And but yeah, we wouldn't be like Marvel fans if we didn't talk about things.
Yeah, you had Doctor Strange and Wong in there, but they never show up.
They don't ever show up.
Yeah, I really liked having some sort of magic in there. And then you got the portals back in
Ratchet.
That's a very. I was like, that's it. Once we saw that in Ratchet, we're like, we're gonna figure out how to use that some way, like some way. And then we had the port, because the other thing is we had the portals, but then we also had we're on PS5, so we could move through the city faster. And then I was like, we got to do at least one backdrop that's not New York. We got to go somewhere really crazy. And our team did the, the iceberg stuff. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So yeah, I was really psyched.
Where is that? Are you able to share?
I think we just call it Antarctica. I think we do. I hope that's what we call it. I'm pretty sure that's what we say internally.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kept swinging. Would you get to the Savage Land and then fight Kazar?
Savage Land's pretty cool, huh?
So this is a softball question. You're going to still panic.
I'm not.
If you've done 3 games in New York, that makes sense for Spidey. It makes sense for Marvel. It's the center of it all. If you could send Spider-Man to a different location, where would you send him? Like you personally, I'm just sort of.
Oh, that's a great question. I probably would say somewhere more of I don't know if I would say a particular thing. I think some type of natural setting. I do love that. Moment in No Way Home where he's going to swinging through the forest, and he's going to eventually finds Electro and Sandman. It's No Way Home, right?
No Way Home, yeah.
The third one. I always thought that's kind of how would the Peter Miles navigate a more natural setting? So maybe something like that.
So at the end of the Spider-Bots mission, we get a little Spider-Verse tease.
Yeah.
Delilah, I believe her name is.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
So as you know, we've kind of had Spider-Verse connections since the first game, whether it was the suits, and then Miles, we had the suits plus kind of the animation style. And then we were talking to the Spider-Verse team who we've known forever, and we had great relationship. They're always doing cool things with our game and their movies. Obviously the last one, you see Pete there, you see Genki playing Spider-Man 2. And we were thinking well, what can we do? How can we go beyond what we've normally done? And we had multiple meetings with the directors, and I mentioned hey, we have this Spider-Bot collectible, and could we somehow have a connection? Could somehow they be related to the Spider-Verse or something like that? And they were like, yeah, sure. So we just kind of pitched the idea, and again, it was kind of and I talked about we wanted even a collectible to have a story behind it, and it's kind of like a narrative payoff at the end to get this little kind of Spider-Verse connection, and we'll see where the future holds.
Yeah, not setting up anything for the next movie, right?
We'll see.
And they name drop Miguel very specifically.
Yeah.
I'm sad because I did that mission as Peter. I've turned the last one in as Peter. I'm like, is there separate dialogue if you play it as Miles?
I can't remember exactly. There is. I know Miles says something. Now I'm drawing a complete blank. I'm terrible creative director, people. He definitely has something. I'm not sure if he says the exact same thing or not, but there's definitely a line from Miles in there as well.
Is there a separate line if you show up in Miguel's suit?
I don't think so.
That's another one I was wondering.
That's where I'm like, oh, we didn't think of that. That's the stuff that keeps me up at night.